If you've never memorized Psalm chapter 1, I want to challenge you to memorize this chapter, because this is probably the definition of the way God is talking about most completely in all the Word of God. Psalm chapter 1, would you look with me? Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. God says, I'm going to bless you, and you're going to have a happy life. That word blessed means happy. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. So, brethren, who are you listening to? The counsel is what somebody is telling you to do, what they're influencing your life to be. And God said, you're going to be blessed if you're not walking in the counsel of the ungodly, men and women that don't have God. All right? Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. So there's a walk. Hey, listen. Walking, standing, sitting. You see? You go from being transitory to being firmly anchored in the wrong camp. God said, no, I'll bless you if that's not what your life is like. But his delight, verse 2, is in the law of the Lord. And in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruits in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. This is the way. You know what the way is? God says, I've given you the law of the Lord, delight in it. Don't listen to, stand around with, or put your feet down and anchor yourself into the camp of ungodly men and women. Don't do it. Keep yourself separate from that and just delight yourself in God. That's the way of the righteous. You understand? It's not overly complicated, is it? God is saying, if you'll just walk this way and live this way, I will bless your life. I will show myself strong for you in your life. And what man or woman among us here tonight does not want God to show himself strong for us? Do we not need that in our life? The answer is yes. If we were to go around the room tonight and take the time, would not each one of us be able to pinpoint something in our life where we would say, I just need God to show himself strong for me in this thing in my life? God says, I'll do that for you if you just live for me. That's the way David lived his life. Simple obedience to the Lord. He sought the honor of God, didn't he? When you think about David and Goliath, it was all about the honor of God. Hey, the world needs to know there's a God in Israel. So I'm going to take your head off of you. And everybody's going to look at the fact that some scrawny little guy did this to a giant, and they're going to know God did it. And all the way through the life of David. And then we get into his future life, after Bathsheba and Uriah. And though there was some outflow from that sin in his life, still, David sought the honor of God. That's the way he lived his life. And seeking the honor of God, brethren, will bring the blessing of God. It's not complicated. You know the problem with this, though? The problem with thinking, if I just honor and obey God, he'll bless my life. Here's my problem with that. I have a hard time reconciling that with what I know about myself. Because I know my failures. I know my sin. I know my secret sin. I know my desires that are contrary to God. I know myself at that level, and I wonder, how in the world could God ever bless my life? Because I know what I am. Have you ever felt that way? And so sometimes we look at that and say, is it really true that God would bless my life because of the fact that I fail and I falter and I make mistakes? Oftentimes I hurt people that I love. I just can't believe I did that. Oh wretched man that I am. But God knows the future. But the interesting thing about how God works is this. He'll choose to bless your life right now if you'll just live in obedience to him right now.